Or is there something better? Yeah, I think you should sacrifice here. It doesn't even let you finish the puzzle sometimes, but yeah. Okay. So this puzzle is just bishop b5 check, and then if he moves out, you have mate. Okay, so queen e5, he's forced to go bishop b7, then you go queen e7. Okay, so if rook g1, then king h3, and then queen g2. So here, you can't go queen h5 check, so you can go queen h3 check, and he's forced to go king or knight h7, and then you go bishop g6, I think. And then you go queen h7 because it's mate. So here queen g1 picks up the knight, but you're down material. So queen g1, and then if queen c1, then queen takes c1, and then if rook f1, you just take it and do the same thing. Well, yeah, same. Okay. So yeah, the rook is just hanging on e1. But do you have anything better? So if rook e1, then king b2, queen b4, king c1. I think it's just queen e1. Okay, so here you can go queen b8, and then if bishop b8, then you have rook c8 winning the bishop. But even there, it looks like after the king moves out, I don't know if that's winning. Well, oh, you're up a bunch of pawns, so yeah, I think, yeah. So rook b8, bishop b8, rook c8, and then if king e7 or king g7, same thing. You just take on b8 with check. No, not with check, but you take it. Oh, but then he has a2. That's the problem. So I don't exactly know. After a2, can you stop a1 queen? This one's tricky. Oh, I think you just take on b8 and then take on a4, yeah. Oh, but then if a takes b2, then rook b4, yeah, it works. Attacking both. Okay, so here, the king is very open, so this is probably going to be a checkmate. So queen d5 is looking promising. So after queen d5, there's king e8 is forced, and then you have knight c7 check, and then after king f8, you have queen d8 mate. Same as the last puzzle. The king is very open, so I'm looking for any checkmates. Here, it's pretty obvious that rook e2 is just checkmate in one. Okay, so here the knight on f6 is hanging. So originally I thought rook d7, but then king f6, but then there's rook f7 there. So you give up the rook, or you give up the knight, so that you can attract the king forward, so that rook f7 works. Okay. So, okay, this one's pretty simple. If you just go rook c or bishop c5, I keep mixing up the pieces for some reason. Don't mind me. So if bishop c5, then he's forced to go bishop f2, because if bishop e3, you just take, and it's the same thing basically. So bishop c5, rook f2, and then if bishop f2, and if king f1, then you can go, okay, what is the material right now? So it's 2 rooks. So currently it looks like you're down a piece. So if you go check, you just win a rook back, and I think you can just move back and you're winning. Oh, I didn't even see as d4, but it's the same thing. Why did he sacrifice the queen? I don't get it. Okay, so the king is very open. A lot of these puzzles are like that. And then here you have to go b5, and then after king a5, you can go rook a7. And then that's just checkmate. Okay, so here, queen f2, rook d8, or no, rook d1, and then if rook f1, then just rook takes f1. You can take with either piece. Oh, but then, yeah, he also has queen e1, but it doesn't really matter. Okay, so here, queen e8 forces rook f8, and then you have bishop c4, king h8, queen takes f8. Okay, now the puzzles are getting pretty tough. The king is in the center of the board, so I think a pretty obvious move is queen d4. And then after king c6, I have to still think. So king c6. Oh, then you have queen a4 winning the queen. Okay, so if queen d4, king c6 is forced, and then queen a4. This is definitely a mate. So if rook d1, then he has to go king a2, and then you can probably just go queen d4 and win there. But I think, yeah, you have to go rook d1. And then queen d4, if rook or king a3, then you have rook a1, which is checkmate, and you're just attacking the a1 square, so he's forced to. No? Okay, I might have to check that puzzle after. Yeah, something else was definitely correct there. So, okay, here, king g1, king a4, queen g1, king h4, g5, king h5. You have to follow up with that sequence because it kicks the king out. Okay, so knight and rook. You have a bunch of checks in this position, so it's like tough to find the right check. So you have rook g4, rook f6, and you have knight d3, knight h3. Okay, so knight h3 looks pretty good. So if knight h3, then he can either go to e4 or he can go to f5. So if he goes to f5 or e5, then you just go rook g5 and then you win the queen. So he has to go king e4. And then there you can go rook g4, and then he has to move to the 5th rank, and then you just get the same thing. So knight h3, rook g4, rook g5. Another mate puzzle is looking like. So if rook a8, then king h7 is forced. And then how do you mate? Maybe it's not rook 8. So you can also go king g6, and then you're threatening rook a8 checkmate. So I think that's better. How does he stop that? I mean, yeah, it doesn't look like he can stop that. Yeah, he's forced to give up, and then here's winning. Okay. So I originally thought queen e8, but after king c7, it's looking unclear. So I think first you have to trap the king in. So you can go king d6, and then you can trap the king in with your king, and then you're threatening queen e8. But does he have any like checks? It's looking like you might have to play a check. So maybe queen e8 is better because your king is so wide open. So, yeah, I'm not really seeing anything. Let's try queen e8. Okay, that's not correct. Yeah, the king is kind of wide open. You can try bishop e6, but then he gets two pieces for his rook, which is not very good of a trade. I'm not really seeing anything. Maybe like d5, e takes d5. No. This is a tough one, for sure. I gotta take a big thinker on this one. So you could go g4, but then he just moves out. Yeah, I don't see anything. What tactical ideas are there in this position? Bishop e6, rook e6, knight e6, queen e6, d5, a5. Oh, a5, and then if he goes knight d5, you have e4. It's looking like a5 is the move, because if he goes anything like knight d7, then you can go a6. Okay, that one was a tricky one. I think, yeah, this is my all-time sixth at sing. I think my high score is something like 37. I'll do another puzzle rush whenever I'm videos where I'm just gonna be doing some like chess practice and stuff, which I'm gonna be like talking about. I might post another video where I'm gonna be playing a game and then talking about my thoughts and everything. So yeah, bye guys. Please like and subscribe.